All right. Well, I'll get started with this before I put my slides up. My name is Gianna Howard. I'm an academic success coordinator within the Academic Success Center at SUNY Brockport. And one of my main roles as a coordinator is to oversee the Emerging Scholars Program. So I don't know if I'm talking to parents or students or a combination of both, but if you've gotten emails about the Emerging Scholars Program, they were from me. And so I have this webinar today to give you a rundown, give you some more information, but you should have gotten some emails from me and some letters, and you'll continue to get those throughout the summer. And feel free to ask me any questions tonight and even past this. If you think of a question a few days from now, I'm going to have my contact info at the end. So I'm always available to answer questions regarding this program. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if I can figure out how. There we go. Okay. Can everyone see that? Can someone write in the chat? Just let me know if you see this.
I can see it.
Yep,
Perfect.
looks good.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So we're going to talk all about emerging scholars this evening. Forgive me. I have my notes over here on my other laptop. So if I look away, that's why, because I want to make sure I get in everything I want to say tonight. But we will get right into it. So one of the first questions I get from the students that are admitted as emerging scholars and parents are like, what does this mean? Why am I in this program? And so the definition that is on our website and that we give students and parents is that emerging scholars are incoming first year students that didn't meet some of Brockport's admissions requirements based on grades and or test scores, but still have shown they have great potential to succeed in college. So to get a little more deep with that, I like to say I do all things emerging scholars aside from um, pick which students are going to be admitted through this program. Our admissions team does that. And they have a process when they're reviewing applications of students trying to come to Brockport where they look at what courses were taken, what levels, so like how far in math and science did you go, the grades you got in your courses, your final exam grades, your state test grades, any credits you might be bringing in, whether it's like AP things or from dual credit programs at colleges, and they decide who is going to be admitted through this program. Um, but regardless of how you got here, you are here. And as an emerging scholar, we just provide some extra resources for students to ensure that they're successful here at Brockport. I think a lot of students in general don't realize the transition from high school to college is a lot different, especially today. I think a lot of students that were in high school the past 4 or 5 years went through COVID high school, and it's different. And they come to college and professors expect them to know and do certain things. So the Emerging Scholars Program just gives some extra resources to make sure they're where they need to be. And so a few of those main requirements, perks, I'm going to go into detail with each of these on the following slides, but there's early move-in for residential students. So if they're going to live on campus, they move in early. They must participate in a 4-day bridge program, and then they take a 3-credit academic planning seminar course. And like I said, I'm going to go into more detail about all these in just a second, but I did want to pause and say Emerging Scholars College experience is just like every other student at Brockport. Aside from these few things, they can still graduate in 4 years. There's no financial implications, and most professors won't even know the students are emerging scholars unless they go out of their way to say it. So, like I said, just some few extra tools to get them started. So, getting right into requirement number one, I say requirement in quotes because you can be a commuter and be in part of the Emerging Scholars Program. But Emerging Scholars will move in this year on Sunday, August 18th. And I just found out this morning the time frame will be between 1 and 3 p.m. So students can arrive later. We do know some people are coming from downstate in the city, but there will be significantly less move-in assistance and potentially longer wait times the later you come. That first week before classes begin, there's tons of trainings on campus. Our RAs, so our resident assistants that live in the dorms, they do extensive training that week. So they're just busy running around. So they gave us this window. You can come later, but it might be a little dicey. When students move in on Sunday the 18th, August 18th, excuse me, they'll move into their assigned dorm. So I've had a few people reach out to me thinking that they have to go stay in another dorm and then move a few days later. No, when you move in on August 18th, you'll go to your assigned residence hall and your assigned room, and you get your room ready ahead of everybody else. So this has been a big perk for our past bridge program last year. This is one of the things students, when we did assessments, told me was their favorite part about the bridge program. They get to move in early. So, move in is usually kind of chaotic the weekend before courses begin. So, coming in early, you get to avoid all of that. Your family can stay a little longer, help you pack, or excuse me, help you settle and unpack. And you just kind of get to know campus before the craziness of the semester begins. And so the last thing I wanted to say about move-in is just read your communication from our residential life office carefully. Um, because they're just streamlined to send all freshmen the same things, you might still get notifications that say emerging scholars. They might get a notification saying, oh, your move-in date is August 22nd, but emerging scholars are coming August 18th. So, on to the bridge program, which is probably the biggest piece of the Emerging Scholars program. It will take place August 19th through Thursday, August 22nd. So, they move in on Sunday, and then the bridge program is Monday through Thursday. Then, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday before classes begin is welcome weekend for all freshmen in the whole college, and they have a whole bunch of activities going on that weekend as well. So, please note, I have it bold and underlined. If students were admitted as emerging scholars and do not attend the bridge program, they will not be permitted to start their fall courses the following week. So this will be the second year that we've done our bridge program. And last year it was not mandatory. And I had about 50% participation, and we had data that showed significant differences between the students that attended and did not attend, both relating to academics and persistence. So, persistence is the number of students that are retained. So, after the first semester, if students' GPAs are less than 1.0, they will get dismissed from the college. Um, we had more students that didn't attend the bridge program last year take temporary leave. So, that's withdrawing from all of their classes with the possibility of coming back. So our data showed significantly that the program benefited our emerging scholars. And so this year, the school decided to make it mandatory. So I've sent some emails with information about that to both personal emails, Brockport emails. I sent a little postcard home. So please make sure you RSVP. I'm going to send another email out either this Friday, and if not, on Monday, with all of this info I'm talking about today, with the more details I found out today. And we want everyone to RSVP by August 1st, because after that date, if students haven't RSVP'd, we're going to start calling and seeing what's going on. And if you do plan to still attend classes at Brockport in the fall. Um, Quick little things to note: fall athletes will have an abridged bridge program, and they'll have a different schedule. So we're working with the athletics department to make sure the athletes come to the important sessions and can still go to their practices. So it is possible they might miss one or two practices that week, but we're trying to even it out well, so not too much is missed, or at least it's different times each day. Um, all meals will be provided. So, meal plans for those students that will be living on campus don't begin until that Thursday evening at dinner time. But breakfast, lunch, and dinner will be provided Monday through Thursday, and snacks and candy and all of that stuff throughout. And then I just want to talk about what the bridge program is. So, the students move in, and then it's sessions that were put together by me and my supervisor and some other staff. It's a mix of, I did some research when I put this together, best ways to orient kids to college. And it's like a taste of the academic educational piece, just some of the other logistical things they need to know and get ready for, and then just time for making friends. So we'll do some icebreakers. I know teenagers love to act like they hate them, but really they don't. We'll do some icebreakers. We'll do some fun stuff. We have a campus ropes course the students will participate in. They'll get kind of like a college reading writing lesson. They'll learn about their math placement, why they might have been placed in a certain course. They're going to have a session that Wednesday where they break into their majors and get to meet with some of the different professors that they'll have later down the line in their career. Learn about their majors, some of the classes they might take. They'll have a to-do list I make them with just reminders like, hey, are you set with your schedule? Do you need to make changes? Do you have your meal plan selected? Is all of your financial aid good to go? So just a lot more time to get oriented to Brockport and have a week on campus, like I said, before it gets super chaotic. So, next requirement for being an emerging scholar is participation in the 3 credit academic planning seminar class, which will be listed on their schedules as GEP 125. So, all first year students are required to take the college course to get them acclimated with Rockport and general college life. So this is something at every university across the nation. Ours are called GEP. It stands for General Education Program. So most students take GEP 100, which is a one credit pass fail version of the class. And a few groups, including emerging scholars, get to take GEP 125, which is 3 credit version of the course that you receive a letter grade for. So that might sound a little scary or intimidating, but it's not. It's really the same course material as the one credit class, a lot of similar assignments. It's just more time with the advisor and ideally an easy GPA booster their first semester. So it's things like we'll do in the bridge program, but extended throughout the semester. So getting to know the campus, how to send a proper email, how to connect with your professors. Like we encourage them to get involved. They might literally have an assignment that's like go to an event on campus and write a 1 page reflection on it. So GEP 125, for the most part, is taught by advisors in our academic success center. And GEP 125, being that it's 3 credits instead of the one, it meets for a total of 2.5 hours a week, spread between Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. Um, so yeah, all students, I did want to note too, all students, their GEP 125 instructor is their advisor their first semester. So when they come in, regardless of their major, their GEP instructor is their advisor for their first semester. And at the end of the first semester, all students will fill out a form. They can change their major if they want, if they know they're staying in their major. And when they fill out that form, it will assign them an advisor within their academic department. So, for example, say a business student had an academic success center advisor their first semester. Following the first semester, they would have an advisor right in the business department. And then the last bullet I have here, I just want to note this year, the college is piloting a course called ACE, which will be on the schedules as GEP 103. It's another graded course, but it's 2 credits in the fall, 2 in the spring. Um, the fall is similar to everything I just talked about, getting acclimated to college, and then the spring piece is more like major focus, career readiness, stuff like that. There's only one section for emerging scholars, and I will be the one teaching that session. So, any of your students, or if you are students, if you're in GEP 103 and you are an emerging scholar, you will be in my class in the fall. All right. So, there's a few other perks to being emerging scholars. One is that they get weekly emails from me. So I send literally, I try to do it every Monday or Tuesday. Sometimes it gets a little later, but I send information about what's going on around campus. Hey, I have snacks in my office. Come visit me. Come tell me how your semester's going. I send important information too, like, hey, don't forget the last day to drop a course is coming up. The last day to withdraw is coming up. Don't forget you're off for these 2 days for midterm break. So I always encourage all of the students to read my emails. They don't all, but there is useful information. And sometimes students lose track of those important dates. So it's a good reminder to look through each week. They have me as a point person. So when they come to the bridge program, I'll be one of the first faces they see. They will meet people over summer at orientation. I will also be at orientations for those that will be there. But they get to spend a whole week with me. And so I'm there to serve as supplemental advisement. If they have an advisor they don't like, whether it's their first semester or in the future, they can come talk to me about classes, about whatever. Like I said, they get the emails. I do programming. So leading into the next bullet, we do emerging scholar programming all semester long. So I'm trying to do my best to do programs that are both beneficial and fun. So last year we did a major exploration workshop. I've done things where I just incentivize them, like, hey, I need you to come take a survey, come to this event and take my survey, and I'll give you a free hat. Um, we have some different things in mind this year. I'm hoping to have the schedule done before the bridge program starts with a sheet so all of the students will know what programs are coming up this semester. I'm leaning toward one on self advocacy because I know a lot of students, a lot of just 18-year-olds in general, aren't the greatest with talking to authority figures or advocating for themselves. And that's an important skill to learn in college. So we do a bunch of things like that. Then the last two, success plans and the optional parent communication and support, I'm going to get into with more detail in the next slides because those are a lot. So going right into the success plans. So this is also something new we're doing this year. And I know I'm going to say that again for the next thing as well. We're doing a lot of new things for emerging scholars this year because we know that last year when we did some new things and gave them extra support, we saw positive results. So One of the things we're going to implement this first semester are success plans. And so every emerging scholar will have a success plan created for them by the Academic Success Center. So it's like me and my two supervisors are looking through the stuff and making sure everything is sound. Um, and each student's success plan will have action items and kind of advice that's based on academics and their engagement. So we're going to look at their past grades, we're going to see what they struggled in. So, for example, if a student was coming in as a business major, where they're going to need to take a math course almost every semester they're in college, and we see that they didn't do so great in math in high school, we're going to say, hey, you are taking pre calculus. Well, supplemental instruction for pre calculus is at this time on this day of the week, and the pre-calc tutor is in the office these dates and times, and you need to go do that. Also relating to engagement. So for students that might not have been super involved in high school, we're going to try to encourage them like, hey, break out of your comfort zone, try something new, go to 3 different club meetings and see if you like one. So these plans, will be given to them at the bridge program. So when they come that Monday, August 19th, they'll all have their individual folder with everything they'll need for the week, and they'll have their individual success plans, which will also be shared with their advisors. So those success plans will be shared with the GEP 125 instructors, so they know what the student is supposed to be doing or what they need to watch out for. And when they check in with the students, they can kind of say like, hey, have you been doing this? Have you tried supplemental instruction? Have you been going to tutoring, etc. And this will just be for the first year. So this isn't something they'll do every year. It's just their incoming year, trying to set them up for success and beyond. All right. And then leading into another pilot program for the year is our academic intervention communication program. So we're starting this program. I'm going to give a quick background. Last year, I had a student who was in this program, and he was a good kid, super charismatic, participated in classes, but he didn't do any work. And I thought it was just in my class, and it turned out that's what he was doing in all of his classes. And he was an athlete, and he wasn't from the Rochester area. And his mother would come to his games every week, like super involved family life. And so he got dismissed after his first semester. His GPA was less than 1.0, and his mom was shocked, and she had no idea, and she was telling us, had she known, she would have talked to him, she would have intervened, she would have done something. So we decided to start this optional program this year. So this is something parents and students can opt into. This is not a requirement, it's just an extra tool for emerging scholars. So the students can select an advocate, whether that's a parent, guardian, other relative, close family friend, whoever they want, to be contacted at points when academic support, intervention, or encouragement may be needed. So for these 3 following scenarios, if a student opts into this program, we'll contact that family member if needed. And so the 3 different times are during the week 3 check-in. So week 3 of classes, I believe all GEP 125 classes will either be canceled or very short. So the advisors can meet one-on-one with all of their students and just check in, see how they're doing, see how they're adjusting, see how they're feeling academically. And so they're going to use those success plans and say like, hey, have you been doing these things? And if the student's like, no, I haven't gone to supplemental, and they have opted into this program, we'll call mom, dad, whatever guardian and say, hey, just so you know, so and so has not gone to tutoring, has not gone to supplemental instruction. We'll also call this person if there are 3 or more concerns raised in Eagle Success. So, quick background, Eagle Success is a platform we use to communicate across campus, kind of like how hospitals and doctors' offices have medical record systems. It's like our educational record system. So instructors can raise flags if a student hasn't been attending class, if they're concerned that a student might fail, they can raise a flag. So if an emerging scholar that opted into this program gets a flag, 3 or more, we will call this advocate and let them know. And finally, at midterm, if they receive a flag, they'll get a call. So at midterm time, all students on this campus receive a midterm GPA just so they know how they're doing so far halfway through the semester. And if their GPA is 2.25 or less at midterm, they'll get a warning just saying like, hey, you're risking academic probation, or hey, you're risking academic dismissal. And so in that scenario, same thing. We would give this advocate a call and let them know. And it's just for extra support. It's just sometimes everyone, I always tell students they know themselves better than anybody else. So do you need somebody to call and check on you and make sure you're doing what you need to do? And if you do, then take advantage of this. So More details about this, like I said, it's a pilot program for the upcoming year, and it's beyond FERPA. So, FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974. That's the educational version of HIPAA. So, even if a parent signs FERPA, usually it's the parent does that so they can call and ask questions on their child's behalf. This is a step beyond that. So, it's us reaching out to you to let you know things rather than the parents, guardians, whoever calling us. We do want to know that you might hear information with a negative connotation, and we are just sharing information. So, obviously, if mom hears that her child hasn't been going to class and hasn't done anything, she might be kind of mad. She might be kind of mad at us and want to debate the case. The advisors and whoever calls, whether it's me or other people, we're letting you know the facts, and that's it. And the communication will be academic in nature only. So we can't answer in the academic success center. We can't answer questions about like billing, student accounts, student conduct, housing, etc. So if anyone wants to opt into this program, I know this is a lot right here. I won't read through the whole thing, but the students will need to help you complete the FERPA form, which they do in their web banner account, and then complete an onboarding form. So I did send an email to all of the emerging scholars to both their personal and Brockport emails last week. I think it was last week, early last week. There is a letter coming as well. Unfortunately, it was supposed to get there before this webinar. It will be delayed, but the letter itself has a QR code to scan for the opt-in form. And I'm working on getting language on our website. Hopefully within the next few days, that'll be up there. So you could just click the button there as well. And so that is the overall gist of everything I had to say. That is my contact info. My email is just jhoward@brockport.edu. I prefer emails and scheduled calls. So my phone number is there, but I prefer um, to answer via email just because I'm in and out of the office a lot. Or if you really do want to talk on the phone, that's great. But I would just rather schedule the call and be like, all right, we're going to talk at this time on this day. I wrote here, bring your questions to orientation. So all freshmen must attend orientation, which will be next month. I will be there. I'll be present at all of the orientations. So I'll be at the parent fair, which will be on day one of orientation from 2 to 3. And then from 3:15 to 4:45, the students will be able to pick like interchangeable sessions that they might want to go to. And I will have an emerging scholar specific um, session. So I'm actually going to use this exact same presentation, but if there are more questions or if the students want to meet me, I would definitely encourage them to come. And then finally, I just put our website link here. I was going to click it just so you can see. It's going to work. So this is our Emerging Scholar webpage, which has all the information I just discussed, plus a bunch of frequently asked questions. So, like I said, I did this last year. I had a lot of questions from parents, students. So, we put them all here to try to answer whatever you guys might need. My contact info is here as well. Best way to find this, if you don't want to take down that big link I just shared, is just Google. Google Brockport Emerging Scholars, and I promise you, the first link that pops up will be this. So, that is that. I'm going to stop sharing. I see there's some stuff in the chat. Okay. Oh, this is yes. You guys telling me you can hear me. Will this presentation be available as a PDF? Unfortunately, no, but I will. I can send it. So whoever wrote that to me, if you email me, jhoward@brockport.edu, I'm happy to send this to you. Um, and like I said, it will also, this YouTube video will be on our channel in the next few days. How long will each day be for the bridge program? Roughly 7 hours, but lunch is in there. I've literally built in free time. Like I did my first bridge program a few years ago with a different group of students, and they literally told me like we want more free time. So I literally build in. I try to build in at least an hour every day transition time. Um, I try to make it so the more like lecture based sessions are toward the morning, and then afternoon it's more low key. But roughly, it's a little different every day by like half hour, but roughly like 9 to 4 every day. How many students are emerging scholars? This year we have 253 students coming in as emerging scholars. So it's usually about 20% of the incoming class is admitted through this program. And then after our freshman year, will we still be considered emerging scholars? Kind of, sort of. So it will be in like your data profile that we see, advisors and staff see, will say like admitted as emerging scholar. But like I said, after your first semester in freshman year, there's no requirements, there's nothing you have to do. And like I said, most of your professors will not know unless you go out of your way to tell them. Anything else? We will also have on moving day on Sunday the 18th. We'll have a short reception that afternoon, evening. So move-ins 1 to 3, probably like 4 to 6 ish. We'll have small reception, open house, like very informal in the Academic Success Center. So if parents want to come meet me before they head out, come meet my supervisors, other people in the center, that will be available. Will they find out if their roommates are an emerging scholar also? No, not to my knowledge. I would just ask them. Just ask your roommate. Some are like it has happened where like last year I had students that lived together and they happen to be emerging scholars, but no, unless they tell you that, you won't actually know. You're welcome. If there's anything else, throw it in the chat. I'm not in a rush, so you all tell me. You're welcome. I look forward to meeting everybody. Like last year's bridge program was fun. I know some students look at it like, oh my God, I have to move in early. This stinks. But I promise you it's helpful. As somebody who's super duper educated, I actually went to Brockport for undergrad. I went to grad school and received 2 master's degrees at the University of Maryland. And I look back to when I was a freshman and I was a first gen student and I was so lost. And I feel like something like this would have benefited me. Um, so please look at it as a positive opportunity, and I promise it'll be good. And we do fun stuff too. I didn't mention that at the evenings of the bridge program. So like the program will go roughly 9 to 4. And then I try to do some fun programming in the evening. So last year we had a game night one evening because that week before classes start, it's kind of quiet. So I tried to make some fun stuff. We did a game night. We did a tie dye night. I think we're gonna do a speed friending kind of activity this year and probably something else. So it won't be terrible, I promise. All right. Well, if there are no more questions, I'll stay on here for another second. I'm going to stop the recording.